evening and welcome to this edition of A Walk Down Memory Lane. I'm your host, Earl Baston. Joining me this evening is none other than Coolidge Bumla Bow. We all know Bumla from his goal-scoring days at the Somerset, for the Somerset Trojans. But tonight we're going to be talking about how the two, football and his other love, which is Gumbays, worked in his favor. To a high energy young man, was able to play 90 minutes and then go and dance for hours to entertain people, not just around the football field, but also all through the community of the island. Bumla, let's first talk about a little bit about what really got you going in Gumbays.
It's the drums. The beat of the drum rattles your spirit. And when it rattles your spirit, it sort of makes you feel free. And then sometimes, well, the drums, you get your body just starts doing stuff on its own as well. So I really enjoy the beat of that drum. The bass drum is nice and deep, and the cattle drum, the fellas having snares and rim shots, which is a very unique beat, which is very difficult for even professional drummers to beat, because in the professional world, they don't sneak quarter notes and eighth note in between.
Right.
And this is what the drummers do.
Yeah. When was the first time that you recall you actually dancing Gumbays?
Well, I was supposed to dance and start at the age of 5, and the gentleman that brought Gumbays to Bermuda, Mr. Norfolk, which went by the name of Boxcard, and he was a real tall, big fella. And when you saw him, it was kind of scary back in the days, because they didn't use bright colors like they have today, all these pastel colors.
Right.
They had real dark, you know. And a lot of these suits were mainly black and red, white, you know, dark colors. Masses were also scarier. So as a young kid, you could be very terrified of the Gumby, you know, and especially the music was a little slower than what we're beating today.
Right.
And it was really, really, really good music. And after, well, I didn't get to dance because the house that housed the suits caught on fire.
Oh.
So my suit went up in flames. So I never got a chance to dance. So the next opportunity that came to me was up in Dockyard up there where they used to have the Sea Cadets. As you enter to Dockyard,
Yes.
they had a gentleman by the name of Pickle Spence who came to perform for the Sea Cadets. After most of the time a group performs, they spectators got to go down, so they kept and give. So that's what happened to me up there in Dockyard. And Pickle Spence saw me. He said, "Oh, we're gonna get that guy there, man. We're gonna get him." So believe it or not, this is funny. I didn't even start on as a warrior. He made me captain immediately.
But I was going to get to that part because I wanted to ask you about when one first gets introduced into a group. They start out as a warrior. I've heard you say. So what is the warrior's role?
Okay, normally if you come and you want to join up in the gun base, you join up, you practice, and you become a warrior. That's where you start. And a warrior, it's in the line behind the lead man, which is a bowman, the cast in bow and arrow. So you end up being a warrior, and then you come up the ladder over the years. You get really good. You become the captain, and then you become the chief. And you also can move up to the bow and arrow, which
Mm,
is which is one of the main guys in Gumbays because he's up the front. He has to lead the warriors. He has to continuously keep looking back at the captain and the chief, because that's where he gets his orders.
mm,
And this is where the whistle comes in. So the whistle is just not out there blowing the whistle. It's a lot of signals that come from the whistle. And
mm,
this is one of the reasons why we have a whistle. It's to give orders. You might be seeing Gumbays and you see the captain down the back pointing and is using his whistle. That is to let the bowman know which direction to go or to spin round, come back down by the drums, turn, go back up. And the bowman would know this because it takes a long time for you to become a bowman.
mm.
It's just not something you just can't go and join the Gumbays and become a bowman.
Right, right.
Uh,
Does the bowman kind of set the tempo for the Warriors because of the energy he or she must bring to get everybody fired up and get going?
yes, yes, he is. Yeah, exactly right. Because he's the one up front, and every move he makes, the Warriors have to follow his move. That's why he's a very important guy, very
Mm,
important. And he is the one that sets the tempo. I know
mm,
when I first was dancing and this was after uh, Spence. But even then, the bowman used to set up the line, and he used to make sure that everybody's in line and everybody's straight. And he would leave his position and come down that line and make sure that everybody's moving their feet and they're straight in a line.
mm,
And
mm.
sometimes then he used to take the bow, you take it from off the arrow from off the bow, and he'll come down the line like this here. Let's go, move your feet, shake yourself. Let's go, let's go. So the bowman is a very exciting guy.
Mm,
He has
mm,
a lot of different moves from the warriors. Because remember his control of the bow and arrow.
right.
And it's a enactment of the warriors. They coming out of the sort of like the jungle, coming through the trees. See,
Right.
he's the lookout man. Yeah. The bowman's the lookout man. So man is coming. That's why you ever see a bowman is doing all this is looking.
Yes. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
So I saw it. Yes.
yeah.
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
Because the actual bow it was, reenact stuff, but the bow was for the warrior. Those guys when they come out, see,
Right.
because then you might have to use it.
Mm,
You know what I'm saying?
mm, mm. How much in your football did the fact that you danced gambia, how much did that help you in your game itself?
It helped me a lot because I was always a fit person, and it's because I trained a lot. I would train, I would run from Dockyard to Somerset Cricket Club, which is about what 3.5 miles, 3 miles or something
Mm,
like that. So I would run, I would train with the team. Sometimes I get up there early and I would train with George Brangman. This was before training started.
right.
Then we train for 2 hours, and then I run back home. So I thought I was fit. And then when I went down Scumbays, I found out I wasn't as fit as I thought I was.
Mm,
So the Gumby enhanced my fitness. And it's funny that in football you use a lot of muscles, but in Gumbays you use a lot of different muscles as well. You know,
mm,
I mean, especially when you're going down in your squats and splits and stuff like that.
right.
So it helped me. It helped me a lot. And I think that's where, it improved on my breathing. It improved on my fitness.
Mm,
That's probably why I was probably faster than a lot of other players. It's funny because when we was in high school, it was a lot of guys like I couldn't beat in running. Like Glenn Riley, Steve Riley, those guys were faster than me. They were doing for 100-yard dashes and 200. I was more somehow a long distance runner. I used to like long distance. Like you remember, we used to have what was it, cross country in high
Cross
school.
country, yeah, yeah.
I like that.
Mm.
And so we used to make a joke about it, about me not being that type of fan. So I used to tell him, I said to tell him, I used to tell him, put a football in front of him. I bet you will beat me.
Roll a ball down the 100-meter line.
Yeah.
So now Gumbays is, and I look at Gumbays and I refer to it much like martial arts because it's a craft. It's you there are certain dances that you do. You what do you guys call them? Tribal dances?
Yeah, it's tribal dance, and it's known as masquerade.
Okay, right.
Masquerader.
Yes.
Masquerade dance. Places group was well known for that. They were a group that used their body more than practically any other group. They danced from the hips, the shoulders, knees, ankles. They were good. They were really.
So throughout your career in dancing, how did you progress? And I mean, when I say that, I mean your style, because you develop a style of your own eventually when you're called into that middle and you're dancing, everybody has their own little way of doing things. So you have the routine that you do, but you have a different way of doing it. So how did you develop yours?
Well, I just felt sort of like free and done things naturally or whatever came to me. You're absolutely right. There's certain routines that everybody has to learn, and then the rest of it, it's you as an individual. So your dance movements for you will be who you are and how you express yourself. And that's what makes Gumbays unique, special, and exciting because everybody has that basic steps, but then they have their own flair.
Yes.
And certain people who follow Gumbays get to know certain men from not just the suits, but the dance. And they will follow them because they like how these guys dance. And they go, that's what they want to watch and see.
Sure. The way they express themselves. Now, and I want to go back to that, how I said I refer Gumbays like martial arts. So when did you feel like, as a youngster, when did you feel like this is how I want to portray myself when I get that opportunity? Because like you said, it's that personal flair. It's you're out there. When did you feel like, okay, now's my time to shine?
Yeah. And when that time came, I gave him my specialty, which I was known for, which was doing flips. Before me, you had a few guys that used to do flips. Was a God bless his soul, young man William used to work at the BIU before he passed, pumping gas. He was a good dancer, danced for the Warner Group, and he used to do flips. But it's been known throughout Bermuda, and if it ain't, I got known for a flip specialist. So people used to come to watch me just to see that flip. I can recall dancing with Pickle Spence, and we were out on Boxing Day, and we literally had like 1,000 people following us, and we ended up around Court Street. Somehow around Court Street, it's the mother of Gumbay.
Mm-hmm.
When you come through there, you have to be sharp because the sharp eyes are looking at you.
Yes.
And they know a Gumbay when they see one, and they know a good dancer when they see one, So you had to be at top level. There's no time for you coming short. Like my team on Sunday, Manchester United. That time coming short. You will get punished, you know.
And like your team on Sunday, someone's the truth.
Yeah, yeah. I ain't got over it yet.
All right.
So
yeah.
I used to take the whip, and what got me excited about doing this and enjoying it was because people used to look on.
Mm.
And I don't think you ever seen anybody start out putting a whip around base height and do a flip over that.
Right.
And then come down in a split. And then I would raise it up again, maybe up here by your chest height. Flip over there and I come up. So one time I put it way up there above my head, way up there, it's up high, man. And you heard people say, hey, he never make that. He can't do that, dear. And that guy does flips, he don't even take off his head. His head never comes off. I'll bet you $500. He don't make it. I'm hurting him. So what I do, I go back like an airplane because I need a runway to get the speed. That's the key. I need the speed to be able to get the inertia up. And then when I get close to the whip, I hit the ground and I spring up high, flip, and then come down. Then get up and then boom, boom, boom. Put your gumbo routine in and you know. But I tell you, I just can't do it out of the blue.
Right.
I can't.
You got to build up to it.
Yeah. It has to be the time when it hits you. And most of the time is when the drums are really, really sharp, good, and the people are there, and they're cheering on the drummers and the gumbas and want to see action. So the spirit hits you. Because gumbas is a spiritual thing. It's a spirit dance.
Yeah.
You know.
All right. Well, we're going to take off. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. See, I've done this in Germany. Yeah, I did this flip band and we, oh my God, we had like 20,000 people, and they were crazy. And we had my good friend Major Deal up there. He's a good man. I love him to death. And
right,
he was up top, and apparently he didn't see it. So when the message got to him, hey, you didn't see that? Oh no. I said, oh no, we can't have that. So when we actually finished our performance, and he was up top, and he told us to come up top, and he came over to me and said, "Pal, listen, I got some people here. I need you to do that flip." Oh man, I said, all right, I will let you down, and everything worked out good.
Well, we're going to take a commercial break. When we come back, we'll have more with LaBelle. We'll be right back.
Putting down the weapons.
You seeing this?
Welcome to the new bulk store, Lindo's Next Level. Wake up in the morning with enough coffee to keep you running throughout the entire day. Your pet at home deserves the best. Stock up on dog food to keep your puppy happy. Need a quick, tasty lunch at home? Your chicken nuggets will be jumping right out of the freezer. What's a movie night without popcorn? You can never have too much. Lindo's Next Level. Why go anyplace else?
I'm also thankful and grateful because my greatest value of my life is my legacy.
But why I do it? I feel supposed to do it. I was put here to be here.
to do what I'm doing right now. Once I see somebody moving, it's the greatest joy for me. There's a little person being born. I am thankful that people have given me the trust, for me to empower them, from my players to my family to friends. And that's what I'm thankful for. I'm thankful that people have allowed me and trusted me to be in their life.
And welcome back. Well, Bumla, when you talk about you were able to Gombe showed you how you were not totally fit, but fit enough to play football. When did you take that personally on? Like, I need to make sure that if I'm going to be this footballer and this person doing Gombe, I need to be in the best shape that I could possibly be to fulfill both commitments.
Yeah. And the way I done that was swimming. I would swim all year round. I still swim up to today. And I would go at Horseshoe Beach. I would swim the length up and come back. Now, Horseshoe Beach is a quarter mile, going up, quarter mile coming back. So that's basically like a half a mile. And I enjoy doing that because when I used to train with the Trojans, right after cut match, we used to kick in and we used to go at the beach, down at Horseshoe Beach and train. So we ran on the beach. And we also got a sand dune hill you heard of down at Horseshoe called a Kilimanjaro.
Mm-hmm.
We used to use that to strengthen our legs and strengthen our breathing as well. So I said, I have to be in good shape to play football. And one of the reasons I believed in that is so I don't get the injuries. I played football. I really, really hardly got injured.
Mm.
It was later on I got a couple of injuries, but other than that, I never. And I think it came from, training all the time and keeping the body fit.
Mm.
And if you remember Pickle Spence, he was a bodybuilder.
Right.
So he kept his body in good shape and his diet was good. So that encouraged me too, being around him, because I spent a lot of time with him and he taught me a lot, about Gombe's life and fitness. I had a lot of respect. God bless his soul. He was a good man.
Yeah.
That really helped me good. And some of the basic stuff that a lot of guys don't do today. Like when I get up in the morning back then, I would start out. I think some people try to go too big one time. Start out with 20 or 25 sit-ups, push-ups. Right? Before you go in your bed, you do that, and you just do that every day. And you'd be surprised how much it helps. And then you build yourself up. So now you go from 25 to 50 to 50 to 75 to 100. Do 100, where if you guys can do 100, 200 straight off, So it builds your strength up, your muscles, your upper chest and your arms, you get strengthened, your legs get strengthened. And I wish I really did get into the martial arts because I really love the martial arts.
But well, one thing's for sure, your dancing showed you had some of this, those moves.
I can tell you what. When they started introducing activity clubs at the schools, you remember that?
Yes.
We had Mr. Skipper Ingham come up and start training, So I was there and we would, train and get in. But I was skylarking too much for him. He just stepped over. I want to know what's you wise guy or something, right? I want to put a couple of moves on me. I now forget it.
I'm telling him, that's not for me. That's not for me. So let's get into a uniform. I see you're halfway geared up, but
Yeah.
what pleased you the most? Because when you were on the football field, there's no mask. Everybody saw this guy, Bum LaBelle. You come off the field and you go into the gun base, you're masked up, you're covered up, you're everything. What did you like about first playing football to express yourself and then doing gun base to express yourself? Because if one did not know who you was behind that mask, you know what I mean? But on the football field, everybody saw your face, everybody saw who you was. But people would admire this guy doing gun base but not know who he was because he was all masked up. But which one, how did you like to express yourself?
Well, you know the history of the Gumby with his whole costume, and we are like that because we had to hide who we are, you know, because back in the day, way back, you wasn't allowed. Gumbays wasn't allowed to come off the area they were in. Matter of fact, my mother, who, God bless her soul, you know, she was good enough, strong enough to live to almost 95. She died at 94.999. So she almost made her 95th birthday. And she used to tell me Gumbays didn't come on Boxing Day. They actually performed Christmas Day.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, because, you know, people who were at control, you know, they wouldn't let you come outside of that little small area. Stay there in the neighborhood, you know. And then people, you know, from far away that was in control, they were actually scared of the Gumby. At one point, they banned Gumbays. They were so frightened of the Gumby that they banned them. And then even at that time, I mean, I got a clipping here in my briefcase of an old newspaper where they used to put in the newspaper, "So-and-so's missing from Patrick. If anybody sees him, it'll be a 200 pound of reward." You know, that's how it was. So we evolved from that and coming forward. But basically, you have your dress code, which is your white sneakers, right? And I've actually seen clippings long before that, Donis and George's gun base and stuff. And because a lot of guys, they argue about the attire, you know what I'm saying? Oh, you're the one with black sneakers. No. But in actual fact, I've seen pictures from long before I was here on the earth. Guys, gun base had black sneakers, different color sneakers. And, you know, they didn't always have sweatshirts. I don't see them in white shirts, a white shirt and cape on. But that, you know, that came there. They didn't have as much feathers in the head as well. And so we've come a long way where the costume has improved, and it's more exciting, I would say, the costume itself. But the basics are, you know, especially when I came to, was white sneakers. And I think white sneakers makes the uniform.
Yeah.
But in your sneaker, you have a red ribbon, which represents the blood that African people have shared. That's what red ribbon means on the sneaker. Now, your actual costume is supposed to represent your spirit and who you are. And unfortunately, we have, in today's time, we have gotten away from that. And people are just starting to put all types of stuff on the capes and skirt, which really does not represent Gumby. But, you know, our things changes and different generations come along with different ideas. But the real, true, die-hard Gumbies that really know, they don't change. They don't change. They they will stick to that culture to the day they go to the grave. So now, what's on your cape is supposed to represent the spirit, and your costume is African. So you should have a lot of African symbols on your Gombe cape and your skirt, as well as we have had a lot of North American Indians, and so it's a little mixture of that. So between the African culture and the Indian culture, that's what should be represented on your costume. And you sort of got away from that, but there's a lot of people that still got it going strong. We haven't lost it. But some guys are serious about the Gombe, and some people are not, which is fine. But I think that if you run a group, you should know all this stuff, and you should be letting your Gumbes, your warriors, and anybody who's dancing for you, of course, but this is how your costume goes, and these symbols, you can find your symbols, and you got them put on your cape.
Yeah. Well, you have a lot of people that now make the costumes and so forth, but are they getting requests from the dancer themselves as opposed to the group leader?
No, I think a lot is jumped on the bandwagon. You know, some of them are pressing symbols on the velvet, which don't look very nice, because everything used to be done by hand. So everything, you have a machine, you do up your pens and you do your skirt, and all the embroidery on your costume done by hand, the beads and all that stuff, the ribbons. And you have to have a really sharp eye and know how to match colors. You can't put dark colors, dark light. If you put a Gombe suit really together professionally, like how it's supposed to be done, it's one of the prettiest things you want to see. I just so it happened to be done in the government office down there in culture first. And if you go in there, you see a Gombe mannequin in there. That Gombe suit was made by my good friend, Mr. Tyrone Nisbet. And he's a guy who could do a whole complete. He is one of the best Gombe or the best Gombe maker in Bermuda. He makes beautiful Gombe suits. Not only can he make the Gombe suit, he can make the bamboo now. He can make the hatchet. He gets goat skins, puts on the barrel, because remember, you used to get the rum barrels.
Yes.
He go down St. David's, and there's guys are killing goats and stuff, and get the skin. He soak that skin, stretch that skin, and that's how you got a real deep song and a bass drum. He could make the hats. He could make the masks. Plays the snare. He can play the bass. He's a good dancer. And these are some of the people that young guys coming up should know. And it might be even a good idea, because he's still alive, that you just invite him over to your group. One training session, and Mr. Nisbet, if you could just come over for 15 minutes or so, just to introduce, say, this is Mr. Nisbet. He goes way back in Gombe. He's a Gombe maker, dancer, ambassador to Bermuda, because he's made some Gombe suits. And H. Henderson, right? H&H, the call now, but he used to be H&M, was Henderson and Nisbet. And he had practically made all those Gombe suits.
Oh, wow.
He's probably got a racket for making the most Gombe suits in Bermuda. He has made some Gombe suits in his time. The Wilson Group came out, he made all those suits practically. And he drew, he knows how to do stuff. And he taught me that when you do get your symbols right, you make a pattern. So he would take a piece of cardboard, and he'd cut out that pattern, and he lay it on the cape. And he lay stuff on the cape But he don't go there and just do it one time. He would leave that stuff there and meditate on it for weeks, you know.
Right.
And then when he comes here, he gets that embroidery thread and that needle, and he goes, man. And it's beautiful. He could color code. And see the embroidery and the wool, right? It stands off of the velvet. It's not flat. You see what I'm saying? So it actually beautifies the velvet. It looks beautiful. You know. So he's a good guy.
Yeah.
Now when it comes to tools, I will show you a couple of African symbols and what they mean.
Right.
But getting to the Gombe tools, now I will show you this hatchet here. Mr. Nisbet made it, but I actually painted it. There's another one he made, and I painted it. You try and make them look different and make them look nice. Now, if you watch this hatchet, you see that's why they call it a tomahawk, like the Indians, right?
Right.
See that? See how round that is?
Mm-hmm.
See, a lot of guys are making hatchets out of plywood, which is not really a hatchet, because you cannot hold it properly in your hand. And you can't, see your gumbe, see I could control it better, and I could twirl it. And I could shore it up in the earth. And from the weight on the top, she'll come back down, and I could snatch it out of here like that. But there's other hatchets I'm seeing, they're not really gumbe hatchets, you know. Now, I don't know, it's because maybe certain people don't know how to make a proper hatchet or tomahawk. This is actually a 4-piece, well, actually it's a 5-piece. See, you take a piece of plywood and you cut it out, right? And then this is a piece of 2x4. It's handled. So he'll get it, round it, then you see how he would take the edges, right? And then sort of round them off.
Right.
You see all the way round. That's why it's more round. So you can handle it better.
Right.
All the ones look white like that, man. You can't do that. You can't move it.
Right.
You get more movement on the hatchet. Now, if you see the back, it's got another piece here. The other piece here. Now, if you remember the Indians, because I just reenacted, but in real life, you know, you can hit somebody like that, the enemy, and put it on history as well as this, because this would be a lot sharper. So this is an original way of making a real true gumbe. Call it hatchet, but it actually is really a tomahawk. And it's just almost the same, but it's a little different. You know, the shape of a hatchet,
right?
Some piece is different.
Yes.
And then you have a bow and arrow.
Yes.
Bow man. That's why the bow man's important. He's moving his body and shake it.
Right.
And make the enemy dizzy. And then you take him out.
Right.
So that's why I tell you, the bow man, and all this here means something, you know, got you get that, you know, and that's why I love a bow man. A good bow man, he's pretty to watch, man. He gives you so many steps, man. You know.
Right.
Sometimes when you see this guy, when you see a bow man down like this here, that means he's coming through the jungle.
Right.
Coming through the trees and he's looking for the enemy. And sometimes it's even peace, and sometimes you see him smooth on.
Right.
I remember around places and they told me, but take a guy 7, 8, 10 years, 14 years before you talk about become a bow man.
Right.
But today, some of these young guys are really, really good. So it depends on your spirit. You can progress quicker.
Yeah.
Because these guys are really good today. I give them a lot of young guys. And now I'll show you a couple of bits. And I get my bits from Crocodile Dundee, the bull hair bits. They're not the real leather.
Okay.
You have to practice. You have to practice to know how to use a whip as well. You just can't jump up and get a whip and do a lot of foolishness.
Right.
You have to master the whip, because there's a certain way you hold your whip. You can hold it loose, you can hold it tight. Most of the time coming on, you can hold it here when you come out to dance.
Right.
But the whip is only there to keep everything in control.
So, right.
Remember, you're on the street, you have traffic, and you got people. A lot of people get excited and they want to be part of you so bad they try to come running in. Yeah, a lot of people how they today in the gun biz, in the line, they come in the line, they do all this and all that.
Yes. Yes.
You couldn't do that back then, right? Not with Scranny Place, God bless his soul too. And Lord, oh, you'll get smacked. Oh, yeah, you couldn't come. Yeah.
Yeah. One of the things, if you heard that whip, the tail end of it snap, you wouldn't want no parts of it.
No. See, and there's different lengths. See, this one is pretty good to control. It's a 6-footer.
Right.
Now, I also have an 8-footer.
Oh.
This one here I love, but you gotta be careful because you might end up hitting somebody, and you don't want to do that today because this generation will put up with that. But this is a 10-foot whip. It's very long. You gotta really know how to handle it. And most of the time, when you see real long whips, lots of times they will be behind the drummer to protect it because people come in on you.
Yes, yes.
And it's crowd control. You keep them behind the drummers because you know you keep on working up into the drummer and hitting his arm and his misbeat, and you're messing up the music. These are tools for in a Gumby crowd, Gumby group. And now you have whistles. These whistles today, they're high pitched. They used to have, remember the silver whistles?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. But every whistle has a different sound. Now you could master a whistle. See, and that's why the whistle is like, that's why there's a lot of whistles today, which is cool. Like I said, everything changes. Back in the day, the chief, captain, and the bowman, the early guys had a whistle.
Right.
And it's because it's your signals. If I'm the captain down the back and you're up front got the bow, you're looking back at me. Do you see my hand?
Right. Yes.
Signal. Go right.
Right.
They had his college order, so he does. Now, you could actually, I learned how to blow a whistle one night from the group band. They were around the curve and it was so beautiful. You heard his whistles. I just started messing around with the whistle. I could go. See, I just pulled back on the ear, on my breath.
Right, right.
And you could actually tune in because a whistle be good. I could sneak in. You have two guys dancing one another whistle, and you get it between you.
Yeah.
I think too many whistles. I think it's lack of discipline, and the young kids, they look up and they want to whistle too. They have to made to understood that you cannot have a whistle yet.
Right.
And
everything takes time.
Yeah. And that way you keep the order.
Yeah.
I mean, right. And yeah, some guys could blow a bottle.
Yes.
Yeah. You had the old gas tube tops. You remember them?
Yeah.
Play that. They used to have a triangle too.
Yes.
Yeah. And one is conch shells. What fishermen used to use back in the day.
Right. Yeah.
Him too.
Anything to get into the rhythm. Be a part of the rhythm.
Yeah.
Let's take another commercial break. When we come back, I want to talk about how important is it that the young people that are getting involved now don't just become dancers, but actually become the full gumbe, and that's the drummer side as well, because there could be times where you show up, you don't have a bass drummer, you don't have the snare drummer. You might need to be called upon, but how important is that for those young people? We'll be right back.
Welcome to the new bulk store, Lindo's Next Level. Wake up in the morning with enough coffee to keep you running throughout the entire day. Your pet at home deserves the best. Stock up on dog food to keep your puppy happy. Need a quick, tasty lunch at home? Your chicken nuggets will be jumping right out of the freezer. What's a movie night without popcorn? You can never have too much. Lindo's Next Level. Why go anyplace else?
I'm also thankful and grateful because my greatest value of my life is my legacy. But why I do it? I feel supposed to do it. I was put here to be here, to do what I'm doing right now. Once I see somebody moving, it's the greatest joy for me. There's a little person being born. I am thankful that people have given me the trust, for me to empower them, from my players to my family to friends. And that's what I'm thankful for. I'm thankful that people have allowed me and trusted me to be in their life.
Just putting down the weapons.
You seeing this?
And welcome back. Well,
Yeah.
again, I mean, it's vital that the youngsters learn all facets of Gumbays, not just the dancing part, isn't it? Because in order to survive, like I said, there's sometimes somebody might not be able to make it, but you need those extra people. And how important is it that the young people getting involved learn at least the basics beating of the drums?
It's very important, and it's very important because that's the life of the Gumby. Because you can put on a suit and go down the road and do your thing, but if you ain't got no music, it's not going to happen. The music is what drives your spirit.
Mm.
Without that music, there's no Gumby. So today, which is good news for the Gumbies, is that we have a lot of young guys that can beat Gumby.
Mm.
Very good. So it's sort of turned around, I don't know, maybe a good, I don't know, maybe 10, 20 years. I have never seen so many young kids like I see today that
Mm.
can actually beat drum bass, the cattle drum, and the bass. I don't know if you've ever seen some little kids coming out through Union Street and Ron
Yeah,
Curtis.
yeah.
Now, those guys can beat. There's a little kid named Cassidy.
Mm.
And he's telling about Cassidy. I knew it was Cassidy, but 12 or something. This guy beats with that soul music. God bless his soul, like Grover Wilson
Mm.
and Cheesy Hughes and their boys from way back. It's got that music. It's
Right.
got it. So I asked him, y'all, how you train you? Well, he said he trained up himself, and a guy they call him Stickman. He's a Harris, right? AJ Harris. He trained him up, taught him a lot of notes.
Mm.
So the life of the music is going to be around for a long time because in all these groups now you have a lot of young kids that can also dance and they can beat, and that's a good thing, you know. Matter of fact, I'm helping a new group be coming out soon. SMS Jersey's Village Gumbies.
Oh, okay.
They had they back just beating. He actually himself. And now, if he's around older guys and experienced leaders,
Mm,
he's really good, you
right.
know. And so we practice and they dance and then they come and they also play the drum. So
Okay.
it's about five of them.
Okay.
So some of them could play the bass as well.
Mm,
So
mm,
they've got a long lifeline ahead of them because they're young. And can you imagine like me being around at this age and still enjoying it?
right. Right. Right.
After all these years, because some guys they unfortunately back there when gun base was almost going out of the picture because you train these guys up and you get when they start getting around 15, 16, especially 16, they get a little bite. And
Mm,
the teenagers and they want to experience other
right.
things, so they go disappearing and it sort of hurt the Gumbies at that time because these were the guys that you relied on to carry the
Right.
group over. So it's come back and it's come back strong over the last 10, 15 years, right?
Right.
It's come back really, really strong.
Mm,
And I think the Gumby world's gonna be all right,
yeah.
And
Well, interestingly enough, the Gumbe Festival is this weekend.
yes, it is. It
Yeah.
is. It is.
That kind of rejuvenizes a lot of stuff because a lot of people who want to get involved but don't know how to get involved, there's the opportunity to watch it and then be right up with with different groups because everybody has an opportunity to perform in front of everyone. So I think it's a good thing that they have it. But will we see Bumla?
No, not this year. I mean, I probably caught. There's a few groups that I'm still welcome to dance with that I've danced with in the past.
Mm.
But I'm not going to kid myself. Look, I'm not fit, so I'm not playing FA Cup. So, I told myself, I'm not putting on that suit until I'm fit because I've done it before, and I end up, hurting my back, or I end up pulling a groin muscle, or I hurt my ankles. So I said, you know what? You're sort of a sucker for licks. You know better, but you still do wrong. So I made up my mind this time, Ron, which I'm working on now, getting fit and making sure that my body's really stretched because when you get older, your muscles it's not like a young kid where you could do all that. But I can still do the splits and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But I'm not gonna kick myself.
Right. But let me ask you now, because a lot of people watch this show and they're into sports. How much exercises in the dancing art of Gumbes helps an athlete kind of stretch and get themselves in shape? How much of that, the advice side of that, of telling a youngster or even somebody who loves to do a sport but is not very nimble, not very flexible and all.
He would have to stretch his hamstrings, stretch his groins, stretch his back, and also they're exercising because you see those heads moving. You actually really have to do neck exercise for the muscles of your neck, and you had to run and get your breeze up. And what used to help me too is in football, like how you do the shuttles, right?
Yeah.
That also helps because a lot of the gumbe is a certain very certain moves,
Mm-hmm.
Well, a certain like that. So
Right.
if you're not limber and fit, you can pull a muscle easily, very easily.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's some groups I used to even up to today, I do my reconnaissance, and I have a lot of respect. I used to dance with H&H as well, and the stickers go up, bless his soul, Ginger. He invited me to come. He said, "Bow, man, come on, man, come over and have some fun." That's all right, And yeah, they train, man. You go up that big field, they run all up and down over North Shore.
Yeah.
These guys are fit, man. I watch them. and they practice the routines, and they do good.
Right,
Yeah.
right. And not just
And
yeah, it's not
not
just
just
the
good.
dancers, but the drummers as well. They
Yeah,
got to put in the time as well because while you're dancing, and sometimes dancers take a break. The drummers don't take a break because they got to keep that rhythm.
yeah, yeah, yeah. The drummers will had to exercise too. I knew a guy, man. He used to use weights, like this here, to
Mm,
strengthen his arms because imagine you're beating all day.
yeah,
You know,
yeah.
it's. I mean, I know in the past that especially when Henderson and the Places group, Gumby's would be out 8 o'clock.
Mm,
Hey, you got to get back home. So I'm seeing times we got here, it's 12 o'clock, 12:30, 1 o'clock, and we guys got to get in a pool hill. That's the killer.
right.
Remember, you're dance all day.
Yeah.
You got to get up over that hill to get home.
Mm.
So they have a certain beat to march over that hill.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And when they get on the bottom, down by Central, then they're ready because sometimes they stop there to get the breather.
right.
Sometimes they go right over, right? But
Mm.
regardless, they go right over and they take a break and then go over. They have a certain beat. And if y'all got that trot, you better keep up with that trot. I advise you not to stop. If you stop, it's going to be harder to get over that hill.
And let's talk a little bit about before we go. Let's talk a little bit about. I know there's been plenty of days that you would have played in a cup final, and then immediately change clothes, showing up, change clothes, going to get back with your group, and dance until the wee hours of the morning.
Yes.
Which day stands out for you the most? Where you would have played for Somerset in a final, more than likely won, then you was out entertaining the Gumbies.
Yeah.
Which one stands out for you?
I think it had to be a New Year's Day final up there at the carpet.
Mm,
And I said, okay, I got to play. And you have to mentally prepare yourself for this stuff.
yeah.
You just can't jump up and think you can do it. You're not gonna work.
Mm,
So I said, okay, I got a game today at the stadium, gotta play, then I gotta leave and go dance. So I was actually there, we left and we went, danced, and I had already told the captain in the early, he said, no problem, Bell. You go play and come back, we'll check it. So I danced up to the time and gave myself enough time to get from where we were to the stadium, give myself enough time because, Mr. Horton will have you the, hour or so before the game so you could be more relaxed, do your last minute talk and tactics and go do your thing. I said, yeah, I'm going up there because I'm pumped up now, right? I said, yeah, I'm going up there, score the first goal for the year, win the game, leave and go dance Gumbies. And it
so
worked.
so done.
We call it self-belief, miracles, God's on your side, whichever way you choose. But that what was in my mind. Let's
Right.
go up here, win this game, and then go back and dance. And I actually sort of surprised myself, to be able to do that, to be able
Mm.
to actually dance Gumbies, go and play a competitive, match. And I think we played a foreign side too. It wasn't local.
Oh.
You remember back in the day, you used to bring teams in.
Yes. Over the Christmas holiday. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was a foreign side. So we beat them.
Mm.
And I was happy. So they gave me, it's funny how victory could give you energy.
And so does that drum beat because one thing I can say about whenever the Gumbies are about. First thing you do is you look around and you see somebody tapping the foot.
Yeah.
Next thing you do, especially when the bass gets closer to you and it goes right through your body, you start to see people moving. I'm like, okay, all right, not feeling it, and you could only imagine what the actual Gumbies are going through because you're right there. You're right when that bass is hit, it vibrates right through your body.
Yeah. And that's amazing. And
Mm.
if you see somebody at the Gumby, if the Gumbies are there and they're moving, you can make up your own name for them. It's 100. There's no way that you don't move like
Yeah.
that. And I'm entertaining a lot of tourists and people and stuff, all over beautiful,
Mhm.
parade and stuff. And you really get the joy because they can't see you, but you can see them.
Yeah.
But you see the smiles on their face and the joy they get. That gives me a lot of joy,
Right.
to know that I'm doing something that can make somebody else happy.
Right.
And that's what it's all about, really.
Yeah. Now, one of the traditions, especially about for the Gumbies, is always inviting people to come and dance and get involved and stuff like that while you guys are entertaining. What do you look for in a person when you actually go and invite them to come in, especially a spectator, to come in and dance with you guys? Are you looking for the person that's not moving at all, or the person that's moving the most?
Now you go back in time, that wasn't really allowed.
Right.
You couldn't just come and talk about you want to dance. This is a group. These are entertainers. These are Gumbies, and the captains will allow you to come in and do that. You're not going to go and run on stage and try and sing with Michael Jackson, Prince, or nothing like that. So that's how I look at the same principle. So as we've come along now, it started to let people come in. And there are sometimes guys today, because you do have a lot of good dancers that don't dance for a group.
Right. Yeah.
And a lot of the captains know that. And I think it's people want to feel a part of the Gumby. So a lot of the leaders, as time progressed, used to start letting people come in and dance and enjoy themselves, Now, when it came to performing for tourists, it's just a part of letting a tourist feel
Right.
a part of the Gumby and also learn a few of the basic steps.
Yes.
And you don't really look for anybody in particular, or sometimes you might see somebody,
Yeah.
really getting into it. So you go and you get them.
Yeah.
But most of the time, for me, it's spirit driven. Yeah. My spirit's up because I can see everybody should have asked and Ron.
Right.
I can see my surroundings. And as a captain, that's your job, because you got to look after all these warriors, right? That's your job. You gotta look at the crowd. You need crowd control, and you're checking the vibe. You're checking your surroundings all the time. So I pull out tourists. One time I danced at Princess, for 18 years.
Oh, you did? Oh, okay.
Oh yeah. We used to do all the jobs up there
Right.
because we had a group that made their time.
Yeah.
That's how we got in the door, and after that, the other group couldn't get up there. Basically, we were I wouldn't say we was the best group, but we were good.
Right.
And we made time. And when people are dealing in tourism and they have a program, you cannot, come there half an hour late and all that there. No, man, because they used to have like police officers up there. They have a Bermuda moon gate and stuff. That is all synchronized. Okay, we're around the pool at 6 o'clock. So if I tell you we're going to be there to perform at 6, you can't come 6. You need to be there no later than 5:30 to make sure your costumes on, everything is in order, and you're relaxed and you're ready to go. Because they've got hundreds and hundreds of tourists there, and they move from there. Then you got to take them up into the dining room, do your performance. So these people who hire you and organize, they can't be up there panic and keep on going. These companies keep on looking at the watch.
Right.
I mean, I'm at stores where there's been no show.
Oh, wow.
You can't promise people, the Gumbies are coming, and if people's looking forward to seeing this, Bermuda culture, then and they don't show, it doesn't look really good on the person who hired you, and on the hotel itself.
Yeah.
So it's amazing, man, because I see thousands of people up there entertaining, man. I
Mm.
remember one time this millionaire brought his who had tough tents up. Lord, man, that was spectacular for me. And one thing, with like I said, with the whip, I, I was there, and a guy came in and gave me my orders, what type of performance he wants to do. And then I guess a boss over here kept on coming on there and they're telling us what to do. And
Mm.
I said, excuse me, sir, look, could you just please tell me exactly what you want?
Mm.
Because I'm getting orders from here, they're getting orders from here. And yeah, he I didn't think he appreciated it too much, right? And then the drums and licking every man out to go do a performance at his coming on here, right? So I'm saying, and he's not moving. So I said, okay, this guy here, man. All right. I'm gonna pull a trick on him. So he's over here standing, saying, what cover shoe, right? I said, I know what I'll do. I just gently now,
Mm.
and just because I know when you just gently go like that, the whip's gonna unfurl and come.
Yes,
Because
yes.
I do nice and gentle.
Uh,
Like that, right? He whipped me around his ankles. And I pulled a little bit.
oh boy.
It really no damage enough, but just enough to let him know something was wrong with his ankle, right?
Yeah, right.
And I could see my man. He looked there, boy. Oh man, his expression is changing immediately. I said, never heard of it.
Yeah. Without a doubt, without a doubt. Well, Bumla, I really want to thank you for coming on and talking about, the other side, not just you as a footballer, but you as a person of the community, and the prowess that you do have with the Gumbears. And I know a lot of people look up to you, both in what you were able to do in football and what you were able to do with the Gumbears. And I know you still offer advice, you still hang around and do a lot of things in that field. So I just want to encourage you to keep it going. Because you're not banging young girls no more, you're still encouraging youngsters to be involved in something positive. And I think being in a group of Gumbears is a positive thing. And it starts off a young person having faith and trust in other people.
I can leave you with this, and for those who listen in the audience who can remember, we had a little Gumbe walk, because I was also known for walking on my hands,
Oh, yes, I remember that. Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah. So we hooked into another group, and it's actually it's got out of hand over the years, right?
Mm.
It's supposed to be a friendly Gumbe war out of respect, that you don't cross another crowd like that. So when they actually meet, there's a standoff.
Mm-hmm.
Captains come in and talk, and there's certain rules. You have to keep a distance off the next Gumbe dancer.
Yes.
So let his captain pick out his warrior, you pick out your warrior, and they battle and they dance.
Mm-hmm.
But today, these guys want to come at you like for real.
Yeah.
The push up in your face. Some of them want to hit your head and all that. That's not what it's all about. We're not out there to do that. We're not out there to show off. We're not out there to cause any harm to anybody. We're out there just to express the Gumbe, have a good time, enjoy ourselves, and make other people happy.
Yeah.
So this guy from this other group was known for flips to walk on his hand. I didn't think he liked me particularly, but funny how the spirits work. Him and I became really good friends. I said, how you guys could talk like this now and make years and hate my guts?
Over a drum beat.
Because one day he tried to take me out. So I walked over, well, she called it, come down up where Bulldogs is now, right? From here, right down to mostly stop sign, where the other swinging doors is.
Yes, yes,
I'm
yes.
working on my hands here, but he got mad, but he can't get you. I'll keep the red off my head. And my good brother, Wanley May, Calabama, he's a good flute player too.
Right.
He flute concert now, boy. He's always got my back.
Mm.
But he said, look at him, bro, look at him. He tried to kick you off your hands. He didn't like what you was doing to him. Oh, man.
The memories and the stories.
Yeah,
But I appreciate you, brother.
Thank
you very much, folks. We'll be back next
so
week.
much fun. So anybody who wants to get the child involved, go to a group, go to a captain, and get him involved because it's good for him. It keeps him fit, keeps him out of trouble, and something positive.
Thank you.
And
Appreciate
I just
that.
want to, before you go, I just want to send out my love to all the Gombe groups in Bermuda and all the captains and the parents and the committees for being committed and staying committed to keep the culture alive. And I just like to say as well, thank you to the government and the culture affairs, for putting on a Gombe Fest to let people see what Gombe is all about and sort of keep it together. So I just like to thank them all and send the love out to all the Gombe groups and all the best for the new group that's coming out Boxing Day, SMS. It stands for Smith, Maynard, and Swan. These are three little young kids
Okay.
that just want to feel practicing, and the parents saw it and they took interest, and now they're developing, and it's going to be great days for them. Yeah.
All right.
And
Appreciate
also, thank you for inviting me on to share some of my experiences with Bermuda.
Not a problem, brother. I do appreciate you. Folks, we'll be back next week with another edition of A Walk Down Memory Lane. Good night.
Good night, Bermuda. Thank you.